welcome to Xbox On. Now E3 is just over a month away and the wait is absolutely killing us. So to pass the time, we've compiled a list of incredibly long achievements. Doing any one of these will take you right up to E3. So let's take a look. Once upon a time, going on a quest meant something. Think of the Crusaders vanishing for years at a time to do whatever it was Wikipedia says they did. These days, an RPG quest line often only lasts an hour or two. How pampered we are. Well, Magic Duels is having none of it. If you want to be known as a questing legend, you're going to have to work for it. For a rather measly 30G, it asks you to complete 500 daily quests. 500! Even if you found the time to log in daily over a year and 4 months, there's nothing to guarantee that you actually have the deck or the skills to complete the given quest. Yes, you can pay gold to try and swap the mission for something more favourable, but no amount of spending is going to speed up those 16 months. Of course, I'd imagine that over 500 days of play, you'd probably gather the cards needed to take on most challenges, but that's still a ludicrous amount of time. Rare Replay has the honour of being the only game in this list that requires you to master 30 games in order to claim its ultimate achievement. Stampers Forever requires you to collect all 330 stamps, rewarded for beating snapshots and milestones. Snapshots are bite-sized and easy enough, each taking a little slice of a retro game and turning it into a mini-game. It's the milestones that make this achievement a bit of a life guzzler. First of all, you have to make it through those rock-hard retro games. Yes, you can use the rewind function to save yourself from a terrible fate, but you still have to decipher their arcane rules and old school handling. If you can get your thumbs around RC Pro-Am's mad skidding races, then you are much better than us. Where things get really tough is in their later 360 games. Whether it's the Xbox Live Arcade HD ports or the standalone games like Viva Pinata or Nuts and Bolts, you have to unlock the majority of their own achievements to hit the milestones. You are going to have to watch so many candy-filled worms get their freak on before you manage to unlock these achievements. It's lucky that Rare is so good at making games because you're going to be playing them for several hundred hours. Just good luck getting the theme tune out of your head afterwards. You know that saying, less is more? Yeah, well, the Warriors game don't really buy into that. These are games where more and more and more is more. These are games where hundreds of historical figures do battle against armies of goons, pushing the combo meter into the thousands with its furious button mashing. So no surprise that its achievements are pretty epic too. The Unlimited Power achievement asks you to obtain all the mystic weapons. That's one for each character. All 145 of them. To unlock their mystic weapon, each character has an objective to fulfill in its specific mission. Not only does the mission have to be played on hard difficulty or above, but many of the tasks are so challenging that the hero needs to be heavily leveled up first. By the time you've done this 145 times over, so many years will have passed that the developers will be making a historical fighting game about you. So yeah, good luck with that. Guitar Hero Live may not be the longest entry on this list, but it definitely has the best achievement name, Strumillionaire. It's for, you guessed it, strumming 1 million times on that plastic guitar in Guitar Hero TV mode. Just how long does it take to strum 1 million times? I know that maths isn't very rock and roll, but let's break it down. If the average amount of notes per song is 500, and the average song is 5 minutes long, then that's a rate of 6,000 strums an hour. At that rate, it would take 166 hours to hit 1 million strums. But that doesn't factor in all kinds of things, like your wrists exploding in pain, or your neighbours calling the cops because you've been playing freaking rock music for a solid week. Or you could take inspiration from genius player Hoff07, who attached a reciprocating saw to the strum bar to get up to 2,000 strums a minute. It doesn't get much more rock and roll than playing a guitar with an electric saw. Hoff07, we salute you. The Binding of Isaac makes our list for being one of the few games that found a way of making an incredibly long achievement even longer. When the game originally released, most people had their work cut out unlocking the real Platinum God achievement for seeing every ending and picking up every item. This took highly skilled players around the 100-hour mark, though others have reported times up to 300 hours. So imagine the dismay those people must have felt when the game's Afterbirth expansion added even more items and secrets and asked explorers to collect the whole lot for the 1001% achievement. It easily doubled the amount of time it took to suck the dungeon dry of all its twisted secrets. That's double the amount of time staring at all those meaty horrors. If you get this one without becoming a vegetarian in the process, you are made of stronger stuff than us. On paper, Clicker Heroes should be the easiest game on this list to beat. It is played with just one button. You tap X and the thing on screen dies. You then meet a slightly tougher thing, so you have to tap X a little longer. But if you were to try and reach zone 3600 just by tapping X, it would take you, well, you'd actually die of old age before you got there. No, despite the simple title, Clicker Heroes is actually a complex game of statistical manipulation. As you kill enemies, you get gold, which is spent on buying helpers that do damage for you or that pump up the power of your clicks. Making any kind of dent on later levels means ascending, which is a bit like prestiging in Call of Duty, and lets you buy even more powerful allies to help churn away at those health bars. From here on, it becomes about efficiently investing in characters who give you more bang for your buck. Even using a proven strategy to unlock the achievement, you could still be looking at 6 to 7 months of real-time playing before you're anywhere near strong enough to grind to level 3600. Luckily, your account is always playing, whether or not you're logged into the game, but that's still 7 months of regularly checking in to manage stats and upgrade characters. Is it worth it for 200G? The game is free to play, so why not find out for yourself? As a game with over 400 billion star systems for players to visit, you'd expect Elite Dangerous to have some pretty hefty achievements. Well, they come none heftier than Triple Elite, awarded for reaching elite status in the game's 3 career disciplines: combat, trading, and exploration. Pursuing elite statuses in any one of these is a huge undertaking. In fact, when the game first appeared on PC, developers Frontier offered a £1,000 prize for the 3 commanders who claimed each of the titles first. The first pilot to reach elite in exploration has travelled 190,000 light years and visited 7,697 star systems. The winner of the trading prize has hauled 834,000 tons of cargo across the universe. To put that in some kind of understandable Earth language, that's the equivalent of transporting 1.1 million cows. Finally, the elite combat winner has 8,500 kills to his name. That's the Earth equivalent of killing 8,500 cows. But that's just for getting the individual ratings. For the first player to get all 3, Frontier offered £10,000, a prize that was claimed by a commander with 1,029 hours of play to his name. Sadly, there's no 10 grand for unlocking it on Xbox One, though you do get a tasty 150G, which is kind of the same thing, right? Only 975 players have ever reached this status, so at the very least you can call yourself the best of the best. In space, no one can hear you being smug. Now, the last time we made a list about long achievements, we included Seriously 2.0 from Gears of War 2. To say that there was an uproar in the comments is something of an understatement. It turns out that getting 100,000 kills is a walk in the park to some people. But when you look at what's required for Gears of War 3's Seriously 3.0, you can see where they're coming from. This achievement requires you to unlock every Onyx medal in the game. That's 65 medals awarded for ultimate acts of endurance, skill, and general all-round violence. For starters, that means getting 6,000 kills with each of the 8 different weapon types. Difficult enough with the weapons you can start with, even harder when they have to be swiped from the arenas before other players. But don't worry, you'll have plenty of matches to try and make up these numbers, as you also have to play each of the game's 6 multiplayer modes 3,000 times. That's 18,000 individual matches. Now, most people who have this achievement will admit to using bot matches, setting the win conditions low or the match length to a minute. But even if you did play 18,000 minute-long matches, that would still take you 300 hours. Those who did it the old-fashioned way say they're looking at about 1.5 years of regular, focused play. It's rarely you hear this, but the comments were right. Seriously 3.0 is a beast of an achievement. So there we have it. Let us know in the comments box if you've completed any of these achievements or if we've missed an even longer one. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video whilst you're at it. We'll see you next time. Bye!